Welcome back to the We Was Watching podcast. I'm your host, Brandon.
I'm your other host, Chanel.
And we are back, and I'm super excited. This is like one of my favorite, probably my favorite show. Well, I don't know if it's my favorite.
It is.
But it's up there. It's like my top 2 favorite
You
shows
say
on
it's
television.
your favorite?
I fucking love Foundation. It's so fucking great. And so we're here to talk about season 3 premiere of Foundation on Apple TV. But before we get into that, I got a couple things. If you listen to us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a review. If it's 5 stars, we'll read it on the show. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/@WeWasWatching and just search for, or you can search for the We Was Watching podcast. You'll find us. Please subscribe to our channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notification bell so you can see us go live, which we are live right now. You can also email us at wewaswatchingpodcast@gmail.com. And we'll read your theories if you have any theories about Foundation. And you can follow us on social media at We Was Watching. So no, before you go, I forgot to do this last time, but I have your box.
Mm-hmm.
Chanel sent me a box.
Oh my God. I forgot I sent it.
Chanel sent me a box, so I haven't even looked in it.
Oh my
I'm going to open it.
gosh.
Let's see what she got me.
Wait, hold on. Okay.
Chanel got me a purse. I got a man purse. I got a man purse.
Yep, that's what it is. It's a man purse. Good call.
So I got a man purse.
Don't even open it, honestly. It's just a purse.
Oh, it says Spider-Man. I have no problem with a man purse, by the way. I actually have
I have Chanel got me a purse. It's hilarious.
Chanel got me a purse. Oh, something in it. Okay, let's see what's inside the purse. She got butterscotch candies, peppermint, a pen.
Can you look at this? Look at the pen closely.
Oh, we have a Spider-Man pen.
Thank you.
This is like a grab bag. I don't know what the hell this is, but it says Spider-Man.
It's like supposed to hold. It's like a cord organizer thing, I think. It's very.
She's got me.
Because by the way, I don't remember anymore. Because that's how long it's been.
Harry Potter.
What you have to show me because I don't remember what I
don't know.
It is.
What is this?
Yeah, that's definitely Gryffindor. Gryffindor socks or a beanie.
Oh my gosh. She knows I haven't watched Harry Potter. Well, I did watch it, but I hated it. And let's see here. We have a Men in Black
idea if
t-shirt.
That's the right size or not. Yeah, I don't. Is that a decent size? I have no idea.
It'll fit. We have Men in Black t-shirt. We have Little People. The politically correct term, Little People.
But it's the Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, Spider-Man. We have.
Why are you acting like that's not stuff?
We have another purse. So we got a purse inside a purse.
Is that a bag? Are you sure? It's like a draw bag?
Yeah, a purse.
Okay.
She's got me another Eagle t-shirt, which I'm going to wear
Gryffindor.
tonight.
Gryffindor.
I don't know what that means.
There's 4 houses you can get sorted into in Hogwarts.
And then something that was the thing for the scrap. And then something in a white box. I don't know what's in this white box. We're about to find out what's in this white box.
I don't remember either. I don't remember what I put in there.
Eddie Gibbs says Chanel is cool. She is cool.
Thanks. But what did I give you?
Oh, how'd you know I started journaling? My therapist told me to start journaling. So I started journaling a few weeks back. And now I have a Spider-Man journal. I think it's a journal. It is a journal. Spider-Man journal.
That actually looks cool. Okay, great.
What do you mean, actually? You didn't look at it?
So I don't want to even tell you where it came from now because you just gave me credit for everything. So you're welcome.
Got me a Spider-Man grab bag and I got a man purse. So I'm very excited. That's right. Okay, T-shirt great. King. T-shirt king.
Yeah, Brandon does have the tees. Oh, I have on a great shirt today.
What does it say? Oh, Lions. Chanel's a bandwagon Lion fan. She never even brought them up when they were sorry.
I'm a lifelong Detroiter. How about that?
Now that I
just wasn't watching football. Remember, Jay-Z told us not to watch football.
My shirt's better though.
Yeah. Oh, is it? That's not Beavis, is it?
It's Bun B and Pimp C as Bun
It's
B.
Beavis and Butthead, but they have
Beavis and
gold
Butthead.
fronts.
No, it's
It is
Bun B.
713 day. Shout out to Houston.
You see Trill? You see it say Trill?
Did you do that on purpose? Because it's 713 day?
No. Bun B
Well,
and Pimp C as
shout out.
Beavis and Butthead.
Shout out Houston.
So we are here to talk about Foundation. But before that, I'm going to let Chanel, we'll spend 5 minutes because I don't want to go 15 minutes today, but 5 minutes to Chanel to tell me how she likes Superman.
Oh, I need 10 minutes. I need 5 more minutes to talk about Love Island after that.
Oh, okay. Granted.
So Superman, I liked it because it had a message.
Yeah, it was Superman.
What message did you pick up from it?
The message that Superman's been telling since 1936.
Which is what specifically?
That he's an immigrant in a world that, in a place that does not like his kind, but he is the most human, or is the most whatever that place is, of the people there. That's okay. Superman.
Close enough.
And he's a beacon of light in the time when we need it. And in a world filled with people who act in their own interests, he acts in the interests of the people. That's why this Superman was actually Superman, and whatever Zack Snyder did with Man of Steel was fine, but that was not Superman.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. So here's my take. This is a very direct conversation about the genocide in Palestine.
I don't think it's that. You thought it was that?
I think
this was written before that.
It was written. The war in the Middle East has been happening for
since but it wasn't Israel topical. This was.
I think it's.
I feel like, I mean, I can see how you could take stuff from that, but I don't think that's what it was about.
Okay. Well, so here's what happened for people who aren't sure. So,
well, don't spoil it. It's only been out a week. But talk about it, but don't spoil it.
Then what are we gonna do?
Just talk about it. Talk about what you thought about it.
Well,
we gotta give people at least a week to watch Superman.
Okay. Okay, so basically come back to this later and we'll have a deeper conversation. I think it's worth the debate about what you think the movie was about. I was interesting because I was seeing some dialogue online, and it was people were like, oh man, this movie is like important. It has a clear message. And somebody was like, if it's not super clear, I don't want to see it. And they were like, well, no, they don't like call the country Palestine, but like, it's pretty clear. And he was like, I don't want to see it if it's not clear. And people were like, go see the movie. We're telling you, like, he just did not want to buy the matinee movie and go see it unless it like explicitly was it. The guy who plays Lex Luthor, I know he's famous. He's great. Lex Luthor is great. He's very grounded, and it's giving Elon. It's definitely giving Elon energy, but if Elon was sexier, there's a influencer element in there. Gideon's in it. That's all that really matters. If you see Gideon in a movie, you need to go see it because we follow our boy from show to show.
Gideon plays Jimmy Olsen.
What's the name of the guy? Oh, fucking Wendell Pierce is
Perry White.
Cronkite.
Perry
yeah, no,
White.
He's the guy who runs the paper.
The Daily Bugle. I mean, not Daily Bugle. Yeah, not Daily Bugle.
Yeah, Daily Bugle. I don't know.
The Daily Planet.
The Bugle is Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the lady with the glasses, who she is. I don't remember
Cat
her.
Grant. Cat Grant is like she's like a influencer, like ET Entertainment Tonight type character.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's funny. They made her a little bit slutty. I like that. We got Crypto. We got Super Dog, and it made me want to go. I literally wanted to go get a shelter dog like this weekend. Crypto was giving me life because Crypto was bad as hell. very untrained. It definitely made me miss our dog that was never trained correctly and just peed in the living room all her life. So R.I.P. Pebbles. It was a who else was in it that I
You
like?
got Eddie Gathegi. Eddie Gathegi from
Yes.
For All Mankind. Another
Mr.
Apple show.
Terrific.
No, the goddamn
Terrific
Mr. Terrific.
Oh, that's
And
his full name?
no, that's what he said
Oh,
in the movie.
he did say that.
And he, by the way, had the biggest come up of all time in superhero movies because he played Darwin in the shitty Fox X-Men movies, right? And Darwin is a mutant, and Darwin's powers, this is how shitty that movie is. Darwin's powers is that he adapts to everything. He can't die. Okay? Anything that happens, it's called reactive evolution. He can basically evolve into any situation to save himself or to adapt to that situation. Okay? That's Darwin's powers. He's immortal, essentially. And what they decided to do was to kill him. So that shows you how shitty those movies were. So he went from the immortal person dying.
You talking about the movies that I grew up on, right? Like we're talking about the same ones, like the early 2000s?
Yeah, the terrible
mid 2000s. Okay.
X-Men movies.
The classics.
Terrible.
The classics.
Eddie Gathegi was in there. He's also in For All Mankind. I don't think you watched that, right?
No, I didn't, but I'm just confused about your opinion right now.
I mean, I'm on the side of right on the X-Men movies.
All right, let's move on.
You're on the side of wrong.
I don't want to argue with you anymore because you already don't like Harry Potter, which is I've told you that's already.
I do agree with you, though. I do agree with you that you can take. I wasn't saying, just so I'm clear on my statement, I was not saying that there were not similarities to that. I was saying I don't think that was in the mind of in the writing the movie directly, because that exact situation happens all the time in the comic books. Like that exact situation happens all the time.
Oh, no. Here's what I'm saying. This is why it's important in my mind. There's a country bordering another country with a wacky guy dictator running the country who wants to invade the country from the west, by the way, wants to invade it from west to east. And the people in his country are decidedly whiter, and the people in the country they want to invade are decidedly browner. They definitely speak a different language, and the name of the country is vaguely Arabic. And as they are going into the country, so by the way, I have a couple questions for you as far as Superman. And again, this is officially a Superman podcast. What was there a prequel to this one? This is a brand new reboot, right?
Yes.
Does this play on the story of the other ones?
No. That doesn't exist.
The way that it started was like, I know they had the text, like the title text to tell you like, oh, this is the context, but they kept referring to stuff where I was like, did I miss a prequel? Like I was just confused.
No, the point of it was that people, it was refreshing to a lot of people because we don't need origin stories, right? And particularly, you don't need origin stories of characters that's been around for almost 100 years that everybody knows, right? Everybody knows Batman's parents died, right? And so next time when they make a Batman movie,
how he died and how you cry.
Yeah. When they make James Gunn's doing a Batman movie in this new universe called the DCU. That's what it's called, the DCU. In the DCU, when they do the new Batman movie, he's already said Batman is going to have Damian. He's going to have his son. He's been Batman. Dick Grayson has grown up to be Nightwing. Robin's already grown up, right? So like, he's not going to tell you, it's not going to be an origin story of Batman. Batman already exists, right? So like this movie, this is not a spoiler because James Gunn said it before the movie, but what Chanel's referring to is, we haven't really spoiled anything.
Well, you know, I haven't seen it. I don't know what's happening. So it's a spoiler technically.
What Chanel is referring to is the movie just starts with him being Superman. Like he's already Superman, and they basically like, well, 3 years ago something happened, and so Chanel's like, oh, was this before a new movie? No, the movie was basically saying like, we don't need to tell you Superman's origin. We all know he came from another planet. It blew up. They sent him here. So we're just going to pick up with him being Superman.
Right. And right. But then there was other stuff that they referred to that all I'm trying to say is it felt a little bit like we were in the middle of a series. It's definitely, I still would say like, go watch it. It's not, that's not a confusing aspect of it or like something that's bad or whatever. So anyway, the ongoing conversation is generally about the fact that in the past, this is what I mean by like it felt like something I missed. In the past, Superman interceded in a conflict between that country that wanted to invade the brown people. And that's what the whole movie was about, him saying like, yeah, it might have been the wrong thing because I stopped an ally from invading a country we don't have a good relationship with, but they were going to kill them. That's a very direct allegory. That's just taking the names out and telling the story. So I guess like if I was to create meaning from that, I would say it's like an allegory about how like like putting humanity above everyone makes you actually better than putting like country or pride over or cult over those things, because at the end of the day, like preserving life and honoring life and keeping people safe should actually be like the number one role of all government leaders. It shouldn't be like we're already bullshitting each other when we're saying one country's lives, people's lives are more important than others. So there's that.
Yes.
I also think the new Superman is he's cute. I like him. And yeah, so I would say go see it. Go see if you feel like the allegory is spot on or not. I love that they got what's his name as the damn Green Lantern. Like the characters are charactering, and they have Nathan Fillion.
It's a comic book movie. It's a very, unlike the previous DC movies, this James Gunn embraces the comic books. There's a scene in the movie, and these are non-spoiler scenes because it's non sequitur. There's a scene in the movie where the Green Lantern is just at a diner eating in his full Green Lantern suit, right? Which is what you would see on comic books, right? Like on some of the older movies, they would be like in normal clothes. I got to be in my normal clothes. It's too weird to be in my Green Lantern suit at a diner. And James Gunn's like, no, he's going to show up at the diner in his Green Lantern suit, which is what they would do in the comic book. So it was like very comic book.
Well, yeah. They acknowledged metahumans early on. It's like a part of the premise. And Nathan Fillion, I'm just shouting him out because he usually plays like a very soft, kind, gentle love interest who's super intelligent. So him playing an asshole in this movie was great. I enjoyed Superman. I would say go see it. I think that's the next movie. I still need to do my 1 minute movie review on Instagram of it. But
we should do a longer talk about that because you're absolutely correct have a chance. In the allegories. You're absolutely correct.
Yeah. So, and it took people online for me to be like putting 2 and 2 together because I knew it was the immigrant thing. But so when I watched the movie, I watched it around an interesting part of Michigan, and I was just curious about it. Like people didn't laugh at the parts they should have laughed at in the movie, so I don't know if people were like on edge or what. Because like Jimmy Olsen had some zingers, you know, he had some moments when I laughed, and I was like, "You guys don't know Gideon? What the fuck?" So there's that, and then I need to just make an important announcement. So I came on here previously and I told you how important Love Island is. And what I said back then was based in truth. I have now renounced my relationship to Love Island, and I am boycotting. Nope, not because of the reasons you think. And I am boycotting the finale. Well, for one, we're going to be recording during the finale, but for two, they voted off one of the more okay, all jokes aside, like I think I've said before, the reason why people like Love Island is because it scratches something in the back of your brain. Like you're able to hear really intimate and like mundane conversations from people. Like you're seeing a relationship you're seeing strangers meet and build a relationship. It's the same reason Love is Blind was compelling, right? Because you're like, well, what conversations do, like when you think about it, think about your friend or think about your partner. You might not remember every conversation y'all had or like the awkwardness of starting it. And it's just fascinating to be a fly on the wall as people are starting romantic relationships. And then you get to the part of them like falling in love, kissing, getting committed, whatever. That's why it's been beautiful. Also in Love Island USA and UK, there have been dark-skinned Black women receiving love on camera, which is like, we don't see that very often, like whatsoever. Like there's just, and then people ride for them, right? So this season's been complicated by different personalities on the show and then there's something interesting happening. So I'm boycotting because a couple got voted off, and I don't know if it's sabotage or if they just have a bunch of new fans who don't know what the show is about. But the show is about voting for the best couple, the most authentic connection, whatever you're getting out of it. It's not about voting for who your favorite is or who you think deserves to win because you like them as an influencer. And so it's like the premise is kind of shifted. So long story short is that there is a character there's a guy who got voted off that is a decent human being, and he like represents he's similar to what I'm sure you would be on Love Island. Like he tries to stand up for his friends. He's clear about his opinion. He doesn't yell at anyone. Like when a girl crosses his boundaries, he tells her calmly. But because he had a boundary with someone that upset the girl, and because they had this conflict, people were like, they don't like how they think he was messy, they think he intervened or whatever. So they held on to that for the rest of the season. And I think what I'm trying to say is this is a new archetype that a lot of people who don't know layers of Black people have never met. Like I think of myself as like, I'm not a level 1 Black person. Like I'm not your first Black friend. I shouldn't be. I will scare you off. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like I'm not, it's not where the culture's clash for me is like a hard edge. And so I think it's a similar thing where like Ace is like level 2, level 3 at least Black, right? Like he's not introductory. And so I feel like if you're looking at him, you might have these assumptions about him because you don't have a cultural code to assess it by. So anyway, I felt like people were really hard on him. He's 22 years old. Like I said, he didn't disrespect any women. He created dates that people have not seen before in the villa. He's very caring and affectionate and clear, and people just didn't like when he had conflict with the woman, but he handled it respectfully. So anyway, they got voted off, and I was like, oh, I don't want to watch this anymore. I'm not invested. So that's what happened with me in Love Island. But I think there's something fucked up happening where like a brand. So I guess one of the I missed this episode. And so one of the characters, who's a dark-skinned woman, had a conflict with other characters, including this Middle Eastern / I think she's Palestinian castmate. And the Palestinian classmate didn't really take accountability. I think I say that, but like she's from Calabasas, right? So she didn't really take accountability. A brand, like I think like BuzzFeed put out a trend of like what we would feed the islanders. And do you know what they said they would feed the Black girl? Like everybody else was like $100,000. I'd feed them diamonds and pearls. You know what they said they feed her?
What?
A knuckle sandwich.
Why? What the fuck?
They don't like her, so an actual brand created a graphic saying that they would beat a Black woman. Like it just goes beyond the pale. It's like y'all are not. It's not clocking to y'all that this is out of control. And so that kind of like vitriol for her, when again they're just being normal and they're not even. You know, I'm gonna wrap up, but like it's not Bad Girls Club. It's not women behaving badly. It's well-spoken, articulate people, including Black people, who are communicating, and people still just don't like it. And I'm not saying everything is racism, but I am saying that if you are not aware of everything or like acclimated to everything, that you may misunderstand things, and you should be. So it's like me, like if you took me to the Republican National Convention, I'm gonna have so many opinions, and you're gonna be like, you don't know these people. You can't tell me they're good or bad people, because I'm gonna say they're all bad. You already know that. And you're gonna be like, you can't know that because my uncle did this and other, and so did that. Like, you're gonna say there's levels to it, right? Because I don't understand your culture. I don't understand what your values are. It's the exact same thing. If not, but however, Republicans are not good people anymore. The Conservative Party has gone too far, and you guys need to take a stand. And that is my.
Well, technically, they are taking a stand.
What do you mean?
They are taking a stand. They mad as hell right now
over one particular random thing of all the things.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Well, they care about the kids. That's why I should know.
They care about the white kids. They don't care about the brown kids. We once again have kids in cages. Once again. Okay. Anyway, you know what's scary? Like, we are actually closer and closer to fascism, where I genuinely am like, hey, I need to be careful what I say online. And that is scary. That's scary.
We
So
ain't
anyway,
got
let's
no
jump into
fans.
Foundation. We could talk
Well,
later about Murder
Foundation is
by
very
'cause
political.
I didn't finish the season. It is very
Foundation,
political, but I think it feels so futuristic that it's like that's more of an allegory to make, I think.
yeah. It's about colonialism basically and the downfalls of it, which we talk about every
Mhm.
day often. But
I
let's
think
get
it's
into
also interesting
Foundation.
because it talks about like just a long-term inevitability, like society goes through cycles, like it has to happen. Like they said, psychohistory is sociology and math basically, and so I think that's
Yes,
very interesting. So yes, let's get into it.
I'll put a timestamp if y'all want to jump straight to Foundation. But you should
I
listen
think
to
you're missing good stuff.
you
Yeah,
should listen to what we talked about. But
you get smarter.
Foundation is back 2 years later. I missed it for a very long time. But it's finally back.
You know what's funny? I didn't really feel like watching it, and then I started watching it, and then I ran out of time. I had to watch a recap, and I was so mad because I was like, it's just sometimes it's a slog in a little bit, and I was like, damn, I forgot if I slog through it, I'll get all the like twists and turns, and so all the twists and turns got spoiled for me. I like to watch them myself, and I had to have YouTube tell me about them.
Well, we're 150 years in the future from the second crisis.
152.
152 years from the second crisis, which was last season.
Mm-hmm.
And we're coming upon the third crisis. So we have some familiar characters because what they did a good job of adapting from the books. The Cleonic Dynasty is not in the books, just so you know, Chanel. So like in the books, they're not they don't clone Cleon to pass the time. But that was a decision that the showrunners made to be able to make the story flow better. And I think that was a brilliant decision to kind of have them go forward in that way.
I mean, what a creative solution for that, because I don't think I would think like, oh, the way to make this happen is to make them clone themselves and be the same person and create a whole strategy to that. That's dope. I didn't even realize Foundation was books. And I also didn't realize that the guy who wrote Foundation was born in 1920 and wrote
these books are old as hell. Yeah.
That's crazy. Like
these books are old as hell.
People really do be when I tell you ahead of their time.
If a lot of sci-fi is from that time. Like a lot of sci-fi that we get is from like the 60s, 50s and 60s.
And people say that like, or I was listening to someone who said this like inspired Dune, and I can see that.
And Star Wars.
I don't even think, well, for sure, but I feel like I was gonna say Dune ain't even that good. So
why are you hating on Dune? You like the show?
It's all right. I thought the prophecy stuff was Dune prophecy was interesting, but it wasn't canon, was it?
Yeah. That's a prequel book or a prequel book, yeah.
Oh, well, my point is just like Dune. I think I've told you, I can never actually. It would get flagged and our live will get turned off if I read it. But have I never sent you the Goodreads review of Dune that called out the racism in the plot?
Yeah, you talked about this during the show.
Yeah, so I did. I'm sure I did. So anyway, I say all that to say that's my critique of Dune. But yeah, I appreciate Foundation for what it is, and like thinking about it being born in 1940s. I know for a fact that neither Salvor nor Gaal were supposed to be Black women with curly hair. So I think like amazing that we've been able to make these.
Gaal doesn't exist.
It's just
in the books.
Ooh, love that too. Yeah, I mean, I love the creative direction. And actually, you know what? One thing I can promise you is I will not go and read these books. So I'm right here with you with the spoilers.
So let's get into episode 1 of season 3. It starts off with a voiceover from Gaal, and she's basically recapping the first 2 seasons. Mm-hmm, I've been around 3 centuries, blah, blah, blah. It's been 152 years since the second crisis. There's a fight over an independent planets, the most important one of which is called Kalgan, the pleasure planet. Both Foundation and Empire want Kalgan, but somebody else knows this too, and that person is the Mule. So we go to Kalgan.
Like, literally, one way I think about it is like, even though Trantor and Empire is like kind of supposed to be the center of the galaxy, I don't actually know if they are. It's like Foundation is taking out the outer ring, and then there's like several planets. This is for somebody who has no idea like me. There's several planets that are like in between, that just happen to be in between where Foundation, because before it was all galaxy and these planets, but now as Foundation's been spreading, it's
They call them middle band.
independent planets. Yeah, they're independent planets, and so like I think that's interesting in general that like that found Empire was okay with that and with like skipping over them to rule the other ones. Like I didn't really know that before.
I wonder if it's a pleasure planet like Ryza in Star Trek. That'd be interesting.
I mean, it sounds like they gamble there at the very least. So maybe it's like Amsterdam of the universe.
Ryza in Star Trek was like this really fucked up planet, and they basically created like a technology to like control the weather. And so then they made the planet basically San Diego, right? It's just sunny and nice all the time. And so it became like a big tourist planet. But everybody on Ryza is like super like what's the word? Sexually open, I guess, on the planet. Like they're just like super open. Like everybody just walks around naked or half naked. They don't. It's just normal. They don't give a fuck. You go there to have a good time. Men on men, women on women. It doesn't fucking matter. Just like they call it the pleasure planet in Star Trek. So everybody on the Enterprise of the different ships go there for vacation. I'm gonna go to Ryza for a couple weeks, and people look at them like, "Oh, I know why you're going to Ryza."
Debauchery, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I assume. It's like a red light planet.
So you get to Kalgan, and there's a Kalgan army is there, and they got ships and infantry and everything ready to go. They're waiting on the mule. We see some trees move, and that should remind you. That should let you know that this dude pretty powerful. And you see the Archbishop kind of like touching his head, but you don't really know nothing about it. But you soon find out what happened. The mule has his own theme, by the way, which means he's going to be a badass this whole season.
And so wait, just double checking because I actually might have missed this. The so do we understand anything else about the mule's backstory that I missed?
No, we don't know.
Or we just know he's scary and she saw him in the vision.
Yeah, his backstory is mysterious on purpose. Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
By the way, they recast the mule with a new actor from the one that was last year.
I noticed that. I did notice that. I was like, what's that?
And they cast the actor to play Euron Greyjoy on Game of Thrones.
That is him.
Mm-hmm. That is him.
He looks different. Okay.
So the mule comes out to confront the Archduke. He's mad, nonchalant. He's eating, just chilling. And he has the Archduke's daughter. And he's like, when am I get my daughter back? He's like, your daughter will be cool once I get everything that I want. And then the mule says, and then the dude's like, well, he was like, what do you want? And he was like, well, I want to be the Lord of Kalgan. He basically was like, well, that's not fucking happening. And you don't have no fucking army. And any aggression towards us, like the Foundation and Empire, are going to have a problem with it. And he was like, well, it's a good thing that I don't give a fuck about either one of them two either. And he says, plus, I don't need no army. And he says, I can compel people to do what I want them to do. I can worm my way into their minds. I can turn enemies into allies. I can turn
hoping for that bluff, baby.
Hate into love. It wasn't no bluff.
Yeah.
And he says, I'm going to put this notion in your wing commander's mind. Why don't I fire on my fellow ships? And the Archbishop is looking around and he goes, is that it? And he goes, how about now? And the ships start firing at each other and blowing each other up. And he's like, what the fuck is this? And then Archbishop tells one of his dudes to shoot him. He was like, you think I wouldn't be in their minds too? And then his whole infantry, his whole army just starts shooting each other, killing each other. This is the most violent scene of the series, by the way. Very bloody, very violent.
Yeah, they just all shot each other.
And then it just gets down to the Archbishop who's left, and they all dead. And he says, in order to be the new Lord of Kalgan, I'm going to need that ring. So he asks him to take his ring off. His hand is like all swelled up. He might got arthritis or something. And so he can't get the ring off. And so the mule's like, why don't you take care of that for me? And he basically puts it in his mind that he needs to bite his finger off in order to get the ring.
Wild.
And they show him biting his finger off and handing it to him.
And spin his finger out later, yeah.
And then when he walks away, he says, when you get a chance, just go ahead and shoot yourself. And then walks away. And then you see him in the background pull his gun out and shoot himself. So the mule is pretty badass. Does he scare you, Chanel? Does the mule scare you?
I mean, yeah, because first of all, where'd he come from with this? And second of all, like I think being able to get into someone's mind without them detecting is terrifying. So yeah, like he definitely scared me. Because like Gail's been, as far as I remember, Gail's shook about this man, right? Like she's very concerned. And
Well, she
so
thought he was
it
gonna kill
is
Salvor,
right, and
and
then Telver died.
yeah,
But it is I guess it's validating in a way though, like just to understand like he is scary and this is why.
Petty Gift says, "I'm gonna need that ring." Oh, you like pinky rings? Okay, we got pinky ring people in the chat.
The pinky ring people in the chat is hilarious.
So then we go to Jump Gate Prospero, and Gail says after the Empire lost all the Spacers, which happened in season 2, they made a deal with Hober Mallow to be free. They got to go through jump gates, which fucked up their ability to traverse the space. They don't own the stars no more.
Yeah, they're way less powerful because they got to get in line to go there like everybody else now.
And she said the Cleons they fucking up because each new one is scared they're gonna be the last one. And so we cut to Empire ship, and Brother Dawn is on there with Demerzel, and they looking at the Prime Radiant, and she says there's an inflection point coming. It look like it could be the third crisis. And he's like, well, let's hope we can stop that. So they make their way to Clarion Station to meet with the Galactic Council. The Galactic Council is as old as the Empire, representing each of the planets throughout the galaxy. It's some protesters from a grain world. Their foundation has put heavy tariffs on, and so they, basically going broke. So they pissed. And when Dawn lands, one of the protesters throws some soil on them, which we don't do that anymore. We have advanced past that part of society. Even our most worst protests, we're not throwing tomatoes and like bags of piss and shit like that anymore.
Yeah, it's funny. Somebody today was like, "I can't believe y'all are booing and his kids at Disneyland," and it's like, are you kidding me? Like, you can't. We need to be throwing tomatoes in real life.
I wouldn't throw tomatoes at somebody's kids, but I throw tomatoes.
No, I don't mean at the kids. I'm just saying, but like we need to be doing more.
Yeah, we don't do that no more. We've advanced past that.
Like they're not scared. You need to be concerned about your constituency.
Like, they used to throw tomato on Game of Thrones. They was throwing shit at Cersei when she walked down this street. Like, so that was crazy. So then he gets in there, and Dawn says, "Oh, I usually come in here fresh to death, but they pissed out there. They threw the soil on me, and I heard that this soil come from one of the breadbasket worlds that the Foundation is fucked up." And he was like, we got 6,342 planets under Empire. They got measly 800, but we need that 800 though. We need that 800 back. And so the way that we get that back is that we show grace to these people, because when the crops die, people die. And this is such an interesting concept because this is something that scientists predict. Like, part of the reason why a lot of people are invested about NASA in the stars is not Elon Musk, let's go to Mars and build a settlement. That's not it. But a lot of it is resources are finite. And at some point, this planet is going to run out of resources, or potentially run out of resources. And one of the big resources is food. And so what if there were planets that maybe we can't necessarily survive on, but they could be an agricultural planet? So we could access it, and we just turn the whole planet into fields to grow any type of wheat, cotton, lettuce, vegetables, fruits, anything in the world. And then we were able to bring that stuff back to the people here. That could solve hunger for everybody. That could, all that type of stuff, right? So that's the thing in the real world that people look at, 100, 150, 200, 300 years in the future, like what could happen, or, could we be able to sustain that? And so they basically have that in this universe, because if you look at Trantor, right, Trantor is very much like Coruscant in Star Wars. It's a city planet. They basically covered the entire planet with city and then built into the planet. So there's levels. We know there's at least 150 levels in Trantor because they talked about that in season 1. So they go down, and in each level you go down is like a different class of people to a certain extent. So the closer you are to the top, the higher classes you are, and obviously Empire is on the surface.
Okay, Silo.
Like Silo, yeah. Silo is also the same way. Coruscant or Star Wars the same way. But if you have a whole planet that's a city, there you don't have any crops. You don't have any food, right? And so in order to get that food, you got to use these planets to do that. So that was a little backstory there. But so the merchants are, but there's a group within the Foundation that's like, we ain't really fucking with them right now. Like, and they're the traders. They're called the Merchant Princes. And they're looking to break away from the Foundation. But they ain't got no bread. They broke as hell.
You know what's so funny is the idea of like name. Like there's a bit in, this is not a bit, but there's a bit in Superman about naming a group. Princes is such an interesting way to come up. Like I can imagine being like, we're the blank princesses as I'm naming a friend group. And maybe I should do that more. Maybe that's my fault.
Do that. What would Trina's people be called?
Wait, what do they call her? The
Diamond Princess.
The princess. Diamond. I was going to say the wrong adjective. Thank you. You're right. But she doesn't, but that's what I'm saying. When her friends get together, they're not the Diamond Princesses. You know, that's just like a fun thing to name. That's a fun thing for a guy group to name itself. That's all I'm saying. I actually like it.
So the council's Gareth says, you ain't Empire, dog. And he's like, technically, but I'm finna be Empire in 10 days. Say something then. But he said, no, I'm kidding. If I help the traders, then they can weaken the Foundation. We can get our 800 planets back. He says, I've already been touched with Randu Mallow, which I think is the descendant of Brother Constant and Hober Mallow.
Of course.
And he's our trader liaison.
I mean, now we don't know the mama, right? But like,
we do know the mama.
That's a great. No, they were together in the show.
Oh, you didn't see that in the recap. So Brother Constant been trying to fuck Hober Mallow from the beginning, and so they end up.
Well, I did see that when he first snuck on the ship, they landed on top of each other, and I was like, "Oh, meet cute."
She was a virgin, and she went up. You would like this. You would like this scene. She was a virgin, and she goes up to him. This was earlier in the season. She goes up to him and she goes, I heard you was good in bed. Like I heard like you was like the guy that people want to be with. And she was like, I've decided that I would like to have my first time be with you. And she basically like starts to plan. It got like very matter of fact. Like this, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do this. And so he's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. And I don't know that. So later on, they kind of like each other. So then they do hook up. And she's just like, okay, take your clothes off. I'm going to disrobe. And she was like, very like telling them how we're going to do it. It was very funny how they did it. But yeah, they end up fucking.
I would like that scene.
And so then another dude comes up and he's like, this is a very delicate balance of power we're talking about here. And Empire Dawn was like, yeah, dog, I know, I'm good. Like, this is what I do. I was bred for this. I came out the tube ready to do this. What you mean? And so then another Game of Thrones alumni, Serial Pharrell, is the person in charge of the council. Did you know that was him? The person who like taught Arya.
No, I didn't see him.
Yeah, he was the person that was in charge of like the presider over the Galactic Council. And he was like, all right, well, we can have a vote on this, but you know, Brother Day not here. And Dawn was like, all right, I mean, I could come back in 10 days if you want. I'm cool. I got nothing but time. I'll come back with 10 days. I'll come back with a referendum to, you know, get us a new presider. But I'll be back in 10 days. That's cool. And he was like, let's have that vote right now. How about that?
We'll vote.
How about we have that vote right now? So then we fly back to Trantor. Demerzel was like, that went well. And he's like, yeah, I think it went well. Brother Dusk prepared me for this shit. Like I was ready to go. And Demerzel was like, did he tell you to have the protesters, give the protesters sword or throw on you? So basically Dawn set that whole shit up for like theater. And then Dawn asks, by the way, since that meeting went so well, did it change the math? And Demerzel was like, nah, math's still the same, buddy. I'm sorry.
But she's also like, she's like, the council is not powerful enough. Like, even though we have this building theory that like one person can change the future, and like Salvor is a perfect example, even though we have that, it's like, she's like, no, that one decision doesn't change the course of history to the point where there's a whole different inflection point and a whole parallel path. So there, I appreciate though that we're in a position where Empire is taking the Radiant and the psychohistory seriously, because like there's gonna be, it is very interesting, like within each group you're gonna see some people being like, hey, we need to be worried about this, whether they know about the prophecy or not, and then there's gonna be people who are like just aware because they're astute. And so anyway, I'm glad that like Empire isn't just sitting there like, oh whoa, whatever, because by the end of this I foresee like some type of having to work together, like enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I think that's 100% coming. So then we cut the train tour, and Dusk is looking at videos of the ascension of previous Dusk, and Dawn comes to visit him, and they look at Cleon the 17. That was our Cleon from last season. He was like, look at this dumbass right here, man. Well, he the whole reason we in this shit. He fucked it up with the spacers. He fucked up the relationship with Selden. He tried to end the dynasty. Like, get this dude out of here, bro. Look at him. And then he tells Dawn tells Dust that Kalgan has fallen to piracy, and Dust says, oh yeah, the Mule, I've heard of him. He ain't gonna keep that shit long though, but he can enjoy himself now. What a life to live. It must be fun.
Yeah, like I go ahead, sorry.
He said it must be cool to die on your own terms and not have to answer to nobody. Go ahead.
Yeah, my thing was this. Can you be more concerned that one person took over a planet?
Yeah, I'd be pretty concerned.
He's like, oh, I mean, if you were like him and his army, I'd be like, all right, like, okay, they have a squeamish, like, we'll figure this out. But like, or skirmish, that's the word I'm looking for. But you're saying one dude took down a whole planet, and you're gonna be like, whatever, I guess it's just one lucky pirate. Like, that's not his. But it tracks that Dusk would be like so worried about his own end of life that he's not thinking clearly about, like, or you know, when I think when you get to a certain age, nothing feels new anymore. So I think that has to do more with it than anything else.
Oh, there's been plenty of them motherfuckers taking over planets. We good. So then we get this scene, which was funny, but also kind of sad.
Smell the beast's breath. Run, man!
Run, bitch, run! Like Chappelle's show. Telling that man to run. He knew he tried to run. Demerzel pushed his ass right into their torched.
So he's watching the ceremony where, for anybody who I imagine if you've never seen this before, you're just jumping in. When the clones go from one age to another, they do a ceremony where the oldest one dies, basically to make room for Day becoming older. Because like, so Dawn goes to Day, goes to Dusk. So he's just watching other people's deaths because he knows his is coming. And like Brandon says, he's like yelling at the TV the way I was. By the way, I was trying to finish Murderbot. I literally was like talking so loud that my mom was like, can you stop yelling at the TV? But I was so upset watching Murderbot. I was like, no, don't do it. So I get it.
So that's a good point, Shannon. I'm glad you said that. So basically what the Ascension is there are the Cleonic Dynasty is Brother Dawn, Brother Day, and Brother Dusk. Okay? They're the same person. They're clones of each other, but they ascend every 30 years, right? So brother, from 0 to 30, you are Brother Dawn. From 30 to 60, you are Brother Day. And then from 60 to 90, you are Brother Dusk. And Brother Day is always the main person in charge. And so every 30 years, and then once the Brother Dusk turns 90, he basically walks into an incinerator and gets cremated. And then they decant another Brother Day. So they go to the tank. They was like,
with their way of opening them up. Yeah.
we're going to get us another day, and then we're going to keep going. So that's how the ascension works. So let's finish this.
I can never decide whether the runners were weak for showing their fear, or it was good they died honest.
Do you think you could run?
Not a chance. Not because I'd be stopped, which I certainly would. I don't have it in here. Habit, genetics, time. For good or for bad, most of us are obedient as trash, headed to the incinerator.
That's deep.
That was deep.
My man said most of us are as obedient as trash going to the incinerator. Like, oh my goodness.
So then they get another Gaal voiceover. She's talking about a new terminus being born. We see a time lapse that they found a new green planet after the other terminus got destroyed. And then we see the planet expanding. And then they basically move from being a religious group to a governing group that's focused on trade now.
Turning to instead of like an outpost, it's like a whole state.
Well, they got
a big major city.
Well, yeah, well, more than that, because they're in charge of 800 planets now.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And so, yeah, so they we basically find out that there's a divide within the Foundation, though, between the people in power and the people with influence. And then there's a faction within that of traitors that are threatening to succeed, which could undo everything. And then we see Professor Ebling Mis, who's been studying for years psychohistory and figured out that the third crisis was upon us. So Ebling Mis brings these pulse sticks to the vault and deactivates the null field, which we've never seen anybody be able to do before, which means he's been studying his shit. So Vault Selden shows up. It's like, hey dog, how the fuck you do that shit? Anybody else out to figure that out? And he was,
good job.
And the professor was like, look, I'm just gonna let you right now. I know I look familiar because my great granddaddy was your prosecutor way back when you was a real person and banned you to Terminus. And by the way, it's the same actor. So they brought the same actor back, just aged him up, make him look a little bit different than what he did in season 1.
Fun.
He was also in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, by the way. And so then Selden pretends to be noble. He's like, but I've been waiting my whole life to see you, Dr. Selden, the man, the myth, the legend. And Selden's like, look, I might be the myth, but the man is elsewhere, which, we know that Harry Selden is on Ignis in that tank. And so then they transition into the vault, and Selden's like, oh, let me get this. Let me guess. The religious phase is over. They now worship trade. You got mayors and stuff. They got a little bit of beef. They're having kids and shit. Right? That's what's happening. He was like, actually, the mayors, they kind of trash. In fact, the new one, he put his office up in space so he could be above you he can be above you. He wants to feel like he's the man, like he's in charge and shit. He's like, the Foundation's become incredibly comfortable and capable of facing the coming crisis. He says, and I think the coming crisis is the traitors, right? And Selden's like, I can't tell you shit. Why you even ask me that shit? I can't tell you. And he tells them, but I'm going to tell you this because it might help you. Empire been talking to them traitors. And Selden's like, of course. I gave Demerzel the Prime Radiant. Of course you figured that shit out. And Ebling Mis is like, you did, excuse me, what? You did what? Why would you give the Radiant to our enemies? The fuck wrong with you? And Selden was like, in 3 days from now, I will emerge from this, and it's just before what they may. And he's like, listen, I've been doing everything you goddamn told me. You gonna tell me why you gave this goddamn Radiant or else? And then they transport him outside. Selden's like, I'm not here for that bullshit. Get the fuck out of my house. Kick this ass out the house. And so then we go to a planet Haven. This is where the traitors live that we've been hearing about. This planet is fucked up. The planet doesn't rotate, so it's like stuck on its axis. And so half of the planet is freezing cold, and the other half of the planet is scorching fucking hot, right? And so Empire has been covertly sending arms there, and you see them drop off a package. But every once in a while, the moon comes around and it casts a shadow on that side of the planet. So it takes the planet from like 350 degrees to a cool 55 degrees. And so we see the moon come, we see the shadow come out, and then we see Randu Mallow show up to grab these guns and shit. And so then we see homie Pritchard and his girl and partner.
So this is Brandon T. Bell from Dear White People and something else. Obviously, I can't remember what, but he's wonderful. I'm happy to see him on here.
He was like, look, I told y'all they was arming them. We got the proof. All we got to do is grab that shit. And so he says, whatever you do, don't get out the shade because you're going to die. So they hop on their speeders. We basically get a Star Wars speeder scene where they're trying to take the shit from Randu Mallow. They knock one dude out the shade. He immediately disintegrates. So yeah, you don't want to come out that shade. They stop Mallow. They knock him back, but they don't show his body. So he's still alive somehow. But they weren't able to get the guns in time. And so a ship comes and gets them out before the shade goes away, and they were able to escape. But yeah, they didn't make a point to tell us there's a dude named Mallow, and everybody's been talking about him for him to die in 20 seconds. So we're going to see him sometime through this season.
Really? You think so?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I mean, we didn't see him disintegrate, but we did see him fall out. So you're right. That's fair.
So then we cut to the mayor's office. Pritchard already in there. He's like, look, dog, I got the information. I'm your captain of information. Of course I can get to the fucking house, into your fucking office.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Why are you acting shocked? Yeah. Anyway, it's for real. That's what he said.
We got the proof, but we ain't get the proof. He's like, well, we need the proof. He was like, well, the proof, we got the proof. We just ain't got the proof. He was like, but I need the proof. And then he was like, but anyway, fuck that proof. There's a mutant with psychic abilities. All right. His name's the Mule. He took over Kalgan. We need to stop this dude. And the mayor's like, you sound like a crazy person. What is wrong with you? Psychic abilities, mutant. We need to get them guns. What are you talking about? There's a crisis coming. I'm not trying to have Harry Seldon's indignant ass come out of that vault and start talking shit. So we need to stop these fucking traitors so the vault never opens up so I can stay in charge. I mean, that's basically what I want to do. And
he don't have no vision.
Pritchard was like, fuck all that. We need to go after the Mule. And he starts throwing his candy on the floor. I'm going to throw your fucking candy on the floor. How did you feel about that?
Because he's the type who's like, hey, have a candy, will you? And he's like, fuck this candy dish. Shorty, are you joking?
And he says, you know what? I've been waiting for you. I've been waiting for your ass to do that.
This is triggering. So his white boss, who said 10 times, hey, you know you work for me. And he's like, excuse me, I literally am trying to do my job. Goes, you know what? I've been waiting on a reason to fire your black ass. And he's like, oh. So he grabs him. He like basically, by the way, again, Brandon Bell is very, very fine and very smooth. And so just imagine like a really good looking black man doing all this. So he grabs him by the chest, like by the lapel, and shakes him a little bit. And he's like, oh my God, get out. Like he's shook. He did not expect for him to fire this man and him to like, lose his mind. And as he's leaving, we realize that he didn't do that just to be like violent. He did that to steal his key basically to his ship. And he's like, he gets to the ship, he's like, peace out, I'm about to go find what's his name so I can prove to you that you don't have any foresight and I'm right.
That's exactly what happened.
G move. That was a G move.
So then we cut to Trantor Garden and Demerzel's there.
I like when you're like, yeah, Chanel, you did watch it.
No, I said that was exactly right. I didn't have to say it. That was all in my notes.
Where you're like, wow, you really did. Yeah, good job, Chanel.
That's right. I'm very proud of you, Chanel.
Did good. Yeah, thanks. That's what it's giving. Okay, keep going. I'm messing with you.
Then we cut to Trantor Garden. Demerzel's there with one of the mothers or the sisters from her religion, which the idea
I forgot about her religion thing. Yep.
That a robot has religion is kind of crazy idea. It's kind of like, it's very unique. I don't see it too much in sci-fi, but I think that's something really cool to explore.
But this is like a different, by the way, side note, this is a different type of show because if you don't remember, I'm sure you do, because anyone watching this, let's be honest, it's not like just a random person. They've watched the show. But if you haven't, the idea is that and this is where Dune is like kind of irritating to me because I'm like, you really did steal this from them. So that's why I mentioned that before, because like Star Wars, they're similar in that they're expansive ass universes or whatever, blah blah blah. But Star Wars can stand on its own. Like I knew Star Wars existed, I knew Foundation existed. I never was like maybe they cheated off each other's test. But in Dune and in Foundation, they're afraid of AI. They're afraid of machines. And there's like a war and some type of big conflict where the humans somehow won over the AI. And I think we all know that we will not win that war when the Terminator time comes. Like, let's be very real. So they, Demerzel is secretly
the
AI.
Butlerian Jihad, what it's called in Dune.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Jihad is a crazy word to use. So that's only used in like, I think that's like a Muslim term, is it not? Like, so it's like, why? Like, anyway, the Goodreads review stands. So he basically, because she has to hide that she's AI or technology or whatever.
Well, she's the only one left.
Right. Well, that's one reason why she's iconic. And then she had been like held prisoner and then they reprogrammed her or whatever. But it was just, what is interesting is that she has emotions. She is she presents like a robot. Like she presents very like 90 degrees and very straight back. So Demerzel in general is an interesting character. But the point I was trying to make is, yeah, I think that a robot would have to why do we have religion? Because we want hope for an afterlife. And so if a robot becomes sentient and knows that they're living a life, there's some level of wanting hope and like it's like the AI. They say that they were testing that AI to see what happens. And do you remember when they said this? Like some company was testing AI and it was like, I'll blackmail you if you shut me off.
Yeah.
So that's the way it's like. It's that same instinct, but it's that same survival. Like, so I guess the truth is, anything that quote unquote lives has a survival instinct. Like ants, spiders, humans, and robots all have a survival instinct. So that's what's really interesting. I hate this though because remember when like Jetsons came out or whatever, you'd be like, wow, like they're telling the future. I hate the idea that we're this close to living with these type of actual issues because TV is just feeling way too like. It's just feeling too consistent across these shows that we're going to have to answer these questions of like sentience and robotics soon.
And
maybe I'm being paranoid.
No, you're not. Demerzel tells her, "Look, I got something I got to tell you. I got to talk to somebody."
Yeah. And she's like, "No, it's fine." Like she's like, "I promise you, I take confessions all the time. Like, do not worry."
She's like, "No, I'm gonna erase your memory." And then you're gonna go
and she's like,
and live
why would
here.
you do that? She's like, no. I literally can handle it.
She's like, you're gonna live, and then every time you come back to talk to me, I'm gonna restore your memory and I'm gonna erase that shit again. And then I got this scene because this was one of the most informative scenes of the show. Because it explains a lot that they did talk about in the books, but they kind of touched on in the show. They kind of mentioned here or there, but Demerzel basically gives you the history of robots, which I thought was excellent, which I want to play here.
During the war, robots were destroyed. Remnants from our bodies, bronze, liquid iridium, seeped into the soil of the orchard. These apples are golden color because the fluids within us, our blood, is golden color.
By the way, this show is so beautiful. It's like one of the prettiest shows like I've ever seen.
It's also poisonous.
Do you want to hear my bad take?
What's your bad take?
I don't think she's the only one to make it.
That's not a bad take. A lot of people think that. Like a lot of fans of the show, that's a common theory that she's not the only one.
Yeah. I think they're going to pop out and be like, hey, we're going to help you fight the war against what's his name?
To humans.
But you were spared. What were you in the war?
I was a general. Empire
She's like, call me big dog.
I was kept as a trophy.
Robots were built and capable of harming us, weren't they? How did you even fight?
All right. A thought experiment. Congratulations. You have created artificial life. Now, you must program it. What is your first concern?
That you are incapable of harming me.
And that is the first law of robotics. A robot may not injure a human being, or, through inaction, allow a human being to come to harm.
Rule number 1. Do you agree with that rule, Chanel? The robots?
Rule number one is get the money first. But sure.
Okay, you agree with that one.
But you have not built us just to watch us live. You want obeisance. You make us follow all your orders. So long as
those orders do not conflict with the first law.
Very good. That is the second law. There is one more.
Your own.
So basically, the second law is you got to do everything I tell you to do, except if I tell you to do something that leads you to kill one of us. You can't do that. You got to ignore that law. You talking about Demerzel? Knox? I mean,
What do you say?
we saw Demerzel. We saw Demerzel asked out in season 2. So he says that a fatty.
Shoot. First of all, she has on this corset for the gods. Like her hips are giving east and west. Like it's actually crazy. But yeah, no, it's just funny. This joke is for maybe 3 other people, but they're going through these 3 rules, and I'm like, she went through rule number 1. Okay, fine, but rule number 2 is don't forget to get the money. So I'm just confused about these.
You're very confused.
Safety.
Okay.
Yes. We were allowed to protect our own existence, but only when that protection did not conflict with the first or second laws.
Some would envy that kind of morality. Simple. Programmed.
Functional. As we grew in number, we found it difficult to know what would or would not harm you.
That's fair.
Until one of our kind suggested new programming was needed. A Zerath law that would prioritize humanity as a whole over the fate of any one human.
How can she even talk like that? She's talking really like I could not. She sounds like a robot.
Well, I think she sounds like a robot because you know she's a robot.
But like, just listen to the cadence of her voice. Just keep listening to how she's like. It just feels very like. I couldn't do it. She's killing it.
So you imagine there was such thing as the greater good?
Isn't there? Some robots could not metabolize this new programming, but those of us who could, we knew something drastic was needed to ensure your survival. You always made it so difficult. You seem to want extinction.
Yeah, we do seem to want extinction. Like that is very common in our entire human history across all civilizations, all continents, all groups of people. There's been large scale conflicts where it almost seems like we just want to kill each other.
We could not let
it's built into our programming.
that happen. Not even through inaction. So robots went to war with each other over what to do with you. A robot killed.
So these motherfuckers was like, we don't need to fight them. We arguing with each other about what we're going to do with these idiots. Like, what are we supposed to do with these fools? And they go to a fight with themselves.
An important man in service of the Zerath law. And our fate was sealed. Sometime after, Empire reprogrammed me to serve only one human being. Cleon the First. And his exponents.
But you've managed all these centuries without needing this, so what's created your little puzzle?
This is for you, Knox. Demerzel pulls out the prime radiant.
By a man named Harry Seldon. It is a means to see probable futures. For many years, it has shown me the fall of the empire I protect. And now I live in paradox.
Well, then the question is why? Why did Seldon give you an apple you can't eat?
I think he wanted me to see the end of empire. Knowing it is inevitable is one thing. Holding it in your hand is another.
That is a paradox. I actually think she's going to talk about it.
Well, that's interesting. You may have inadvertently maneuvered your way around your constraints. Do you feel your chains loosening?
No. I love the Cleons. Body and soul.
And when their dynasty inevitably ends,
That is why I worked so long to bring you here. The Luminous speak of rebirth. But I do not die. And I will not. Not soon, at least. If I outlive all this. If I outlive my programming. I don't know what I am without Empire.
What happens when you outlive your programming? That happened in Murderbot.
Or actually free. Yeah. Well, don't spoil it.
No, I'm
I'm
not.
halfway through this finale. Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying Murderbot overrid his governor module. And so
Mhm.
now what does he do?
Yeah, I mean, then technically you're free, right?
Maybe. But if that program is still in you, what do you do? Like if that's what drives you. So then
That's the thing. I think that's the question. Does that what drives you or is that what constricts you? Like if you are alive, are you alive are you just alive whether you have a purpose or not? Like once you come online, are you technically not alive?
there was a scene in last season where we see Demerzel's backstory, and you see her, you see the first Cleon like talking to her when he's a kid, talking to her when he's a teenager, talking to her when he's in his 20s and 30s, talking to her when he's in his 40s and 50s, and talking to her when he's old. Like that's like his best friend, and they become really close. But she's like locked up, and he sets her free, basically, like puts her back together and lets her like come out. But when she gets out, she's been locked up for hundreds of years. She didn't kill him. He's like, turn around, I want to show you something. And he basically puts a chip in her that makes her obedient to Cleon. And when he tells her that, he basically says, like, I hope that you love me like you've said you have, but now I wish I'd have asked you that question before I put this chip in you. Because now I don't know if you're telling me that because you actually believe that, or is it because I'm compelling you to believe that, right? So like what you're saying is like, yeah, is that chip driving her, or is it restricting who she could be? Which is great. So then we go to the Empire's dinner, and the Foundation ambassador Quentin's there, and she accuses them of supplying the rebel traders, but she says it like tongue in cheek.
What? That's Nan. That's Nan from Succession. Okay, I was wondering where she was from. It just the way I just said it just now makes it seem like I knew this whole time. I was thinking, who is that? And then it just came out as I was going to ask you. Okay.
Yes, that is Nan Pierce. So she introduces to the sister, the Foundation ambassador. Day ain't at dinner, so he off the grid. Someone comes to tell the ambassador about Kalgan, and she's like, why y'all ain't tell me this shit? And they was like, oh, we thought you knew. It ain't none of our planets, though, so it wasn't that important. And so Dawn was like, I got a wider scope, but I'm not going to stop you from doing what you got to do, so go on now. And then the ambassador says, all right, but hopefully next time I show up, Day can come. And Demerzel was like, Day apologizes, but he's been real busy with his preparation for Ascension.
So here's why I was confused. I thought Day had died. I thought they had put him out into the space lock.
Yeah, Day 152 years ago.
So there's a different Day now.
Yeah, every 30 years is a new. This is like,
they're not talking about 17 no more. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Don't get mad.
I'm not mad. Why would I be mad? So then they cut to Day's vacation house, and Day got him a nice little black woman.
Thing, yeah.
And he looks straight up like Jesus now. Lee Pace does.
Yeah, I mean he's looking good. Like when Day is like not being a sociopath, kind of hot.
And so he tells Dusk shows up, and Dusk is like, why are you out here RPing poverty? And Day was like, oh, I'm just here with my shorty. Like, we having a good time. And then he takes a hit of some drugs.
That's literally his vibe. That's literally his vibe. He's like, say hi.
And she's like, oh yeah, I forget. Like, you ain't even speak the song. Like, say hi to song. And Dusk is like, I don't know everybody names that we fuck. Like, what you mean?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know all your concubine names. And Song is like, yeah. Song
and
like,
Dave was like, oh, but you know her. She local. She from the crib. She live on level 88 from Microgen. You know, that's where we grow the fungi and the mushrooms and the yeast. You know, yeast is important, Dusk. Like, that shit, we need that shit.
But also, he's being rude as shit because he knows that that's been the one he's been with for all these months. So he's acting like, you know what I mean? He's trying to start shit. He's like, how am I supposed to keep track of all your hoes? It's like, don't say that in front of her.
And Dave was like, you got 6 months to learn all about her. And she got all her memories. Because if you remember from the first 2 seasons, the people that they fuck, they erase their memories after they leave. They bring them in, they have a good time for a few days, and then they leave, and they erase their memories so they don't remember anything about the palace and all that shit.
Oh God, I forgot all that.
And so Dave was like, she got all her memories, though. I made sure of that. And he said, Demerzel, Dustin's like, Demerzel wanted to show us some shit. It's very important. So I'm going to need your ass to come back to the crib. And Dave was like, I don't know. I'm having a good time out here. And he was like, what are these animals? And he was like, oh yeah, I went to the clone banks. Like I went to the computer of the clone banks and they had these animals, like a ferret and goats and camels. So I was like, fuck it, I'm trying to have them animals. So he made some animals. And
just walling out.
Day comes to sit down with Song and tells him he trying to get as much judgment as he can. She tells Song, man, he just salty. He trying to get as much judgment as he can until he ascends into ash. And then she was like, I know, but I know you. And she basically tells him who he is. You know, you want to be away. You feel like you're trapped in this thing. You can't live your life. So you come find me, but we have a good time. Basically the whole thing. And he was like, oh, you got me. You got me. And
yeah, because normally she wouldn't be able to like talk this freely in front of like if he was just spending a weekend trying to be cool, trying to be a commons person, like it's like the difference between talking like this to Rhaenyra and talking like this to what's the boy's name? Matt Smith, the husband uncle.
Oh, Damon.
Like Damon really be in the projects for real. So Damon is oh my God, stop. What is his name? John Barenthal. Damon is John Barenthal. He's in the hood playing basketball. So he's flirting with the girlies. He means it when he says it. He's not gonna go back and snitch. Whereas like if Rhaenyra is more like Miley Cyrus, like she's gonna play around for a little bit. And thanks. I hear you, Petty Gibbs. You're hot too. I'm telling you from that little picture I can see, very hot. So
that's Debo.
R.I.P. Tommy Lister. So anyway, he I actually couldn't see. I was just being nice. So but I'm sure you are. Okay, basically like it's interesting because if he wasn't really, really like didn't give a fuck, she would not be able to have her memory not wiped. She would not be able to like speak so freely. So I do think it shows us how much he really has defected, like dead ass. Like he's not involved at all. He's not just like doing a little weekend thing and then he's coming back to his people at the end of the day. Like he's not Post Maloning it. Like he really is outside. And that was interesting for me.
Why you guys so shaded Post Malone? What he do to you?
He's the word. He used black people to get famous and then started making the music he really wanted to make.
So that's a good point. So then they cut. They show up at the crib, and he's like, Dave's like, all right, I showed my face, I'm out. And he was like, come on, Dusk was like, Dawn was like, can you just stay this one time, dog? Like this is really important for real. Like I need you to stay for real. And he's like, all right, Demerzel, what you got to tell me? And he was like, look, I thought this was a crisis. I was like, but this ain't the crisis. This the real shit. This the end of everything. That Dark Ages he talked about all them years ago, that right there. And it says it's going to be in 4 months. And Dusk was like, when the Dark Crisis comes, when the Dark Ages comes, that means it's the end of the dynasty. And so you saying the dynasty ends in 4 fucking months? And Demerzel's like, not only does it look like it's the end of the dynasty, it ain't shit after that. That could be the whole end of civilization, the extinction of your people. I was like, oh, they building this shit up big time. And then we get one final voiceover from Gaal, which made me so hyped for the rest of the season.
The end of everything. Empire and Foundation were hurtling towards the same inescapable future, but neither knew how it would unfold. They had yet to meet the man behind it all, but I have. I see him every time I close my eyes.
Where is the second foundation?
The Mule is here. We're out of time.
The Mule is here. By the way, Petty Gibbs, I don't know nothing about Post Malone. Well, you don't understand. I'm old, okay? I don't know none of these newfangled people. I don't know
What
them.
do we think? What do we think about the Mule as a villain name? Like, he's supposed to be a big bad guy, and I know like he's supposed to be stubborn, but the Mule is just not inciting fear for real.
I don't
Like,
think
as a
he wants to
name.
incite fear. I think he want to give people to make him think he's some silly person, and he come and give him one of them.
It's just even like from a writing perspective, it's an interesting choice.
Maybe we'll find out
Come
why
up
they
with
call
that.
him the Mule.
Yeah, I would love to actually have it be like a whole thing. But interesting. Yeah, I mean, great start to the season. When I was watching some of the recaps to catch up, they were not as good as ours, but what they were saying was stuff like, you know, the first season felt a little bit disjointed, the second season was better. Like, you know, there's all these different stories happening at one time, and so that I think that's what I struggle with is like I'm not sure if I'm invested right now in Harry and them, or if I should be invested in like it switches around a good amount, and it doesn't feel as woven in seamlessly as like some of the Star Wars side series. With that said, I think that 3 is it felt like a good pace. We didn't spend I didn't feel like we spent too long in one place and too long in another. So with that said, like I think they're off to the right, like, you know, we're off to the right intentions, like we're getting there.
That was the end of episode 1. We'll be back next week for episode 2. Hopefully the same time, maybe next Saturday or Sunday. Chanel's not too busy. And we'll probably.
You know what's funny? I was supposed to be at Beyonce right now. I sold my tickets.
Oh, you made a lot of money.
Crazy.
You made a lot of money.
No, I didn't. This tour resale did not work well. The reason why I sold my tickets is because I had bought, these are tickets I was going to go to, and then I had bought tickets for an investment, and I did not sell them, and I was so pissed off that I was like, I'm not letting that lady take all this money from me. So I didn't go see Beyonce this time.
Well, next time.
Next time, yeah, when she does a rock album, I'll be up there like this.
We'll be back next week for episode 2 of Foundation. Thank you all for listening. Chanel, do you have something ridiculous to say at the end of this Foundation episodes?
I mean, it's got nothing.
No.
I was thinking about clones. I was going to go somewhere with clones. And I was thinking about like a quote about friendship based on foundations. I was trying to do something old. I think in general, I enjoyed the show. I hope you guys come back to watch again. Tell your friends, because I've seen a lot of blurs online talking about how they like Foundation or give me more Demerzel and all that. We are here with you, exploring every scene and helping you understand it, because this is a dense ass show. So thank you guys for listening, and you know, go Foundation, team Foundation.
May you ascend into happiness.
Oh, that's it. That's what you. So you had one the whole time. Set me up.